Hey, Sprig, collar's on. Kennel? Good. Hi, Ethan here with Standing Stone Kennels, and we're back with Sprig. Sprig is 15 weeks old now, and we've actually had quite a few questions about this recently. So it's a good time to get started, both for him and for everybody that's wanting to know. We're going to start collar conditioning today. Yes, he is a lab. Yes, he is a English bred lab. Yes, we're going to use an e-collar on him. We use e-collars in all of our training because it's a very important process. It's a very important part of how we train dogs, and it's a very powerful tool to use if used properly. So to start with, we're going to use the DT Systems Master Retriever 1100, MR 1100 model. This is an awesome e-collar. We're giving this collar away. We will talk about how to win this collar at the end of the video. So keep watching if you're interested in winning a collar. Now, to get started, this will be Sprig's very first session with collar conditioning. Fitting the collar properly is one of the most important parts of getting started, and we're going to show you that. So we've got the collar on him. I have my fingers here underneath, and we're going to cinch that down so that you've got room for about 2-3 fingers. If we pull on this box and we could fit like our whole hand underneath of here between the prongs and his neck, it's not tight enough. If you can't even pull the prongs away from his neck a little bit, it's probably too tight. If he's hacking or coughing, you've got the collar too tight, you need to back it off a little bit. But we have that snugged up, and we're going to tuck this collar strap out of the way. Now, a very cool feature about DT Systems e-collars is that the antennas actually run in the collar straps. Now, some people may feel that that's an inconvenience because you don't want to actually cut the strap. I'm telling you, it's not an inconvenience. It's actually better because your antenna can pick up signal all the way around, which is their max range 360 technology. You're going to get a better signal strength, which means that the collar is actually going to be doing what it's supposed to when it's supposed to. Timing is important in dog training, and this makes timing correct when it needs to be. So we've got the collar fitted. That looks good. Normally this collar box is going to float somewhere down here on the bottom of his neck. Usually it sits to one side or the other. That's perfect. Now, we're not going to jump right into just using the collar. We're actually going to start by building some momentum in this training session. Now, the first thing that we are going to collar condition him to is going onto his dog bed. And the reason for that is that we don't build our foundation of what the collar means as being a cue or a signal basically to come back to us. I think the number one reason that people buy e-collars is because their dog runs away and won't come back to them. Then they start shocking the dog, not the proper way to do this, and the dog is apprehensive about then leaving their side. And you get a dog that comes back to you and they say, hey, it worked, this collar's magic. No, you've just created a problem that the dog thinks that the collar means only one thing and they're not happy about it. They're almost scared or apprehensive about it. So they come back to you. We want to teach him how to shut the collar off by using it to reinforce something that he already knows, which is place training. We're also going to do for recall. But ultimately, we're starting with him going away from us with the collar as opposed to coming to us with the collar. So, to get started, we have our dog food. This is his morning meal here. Good boy. We're going to just warm him up, put him in the mindset of time to train. Sit. Good boy. You can see how focused this is. He loves training. Kennel. Good job. Give him a small handful. What I talked about before, if you've been following along, is he's pretty pumped to eat. And if we can get him a couple handfuls of food, kind of get started with that process, we get a little better focus, even though there's no lack of focus now. Sit. Good. Kennel. Still trying to maintain eye contact. He didn't make it all the way there. Will help. Good boy. You can also notice that I didn't use another cue. All I did was took a half step that direction, which helped finish. Now he's anticipating of what I'm going to ask him again. We're going to do this. Good. Sit. Good. Here. Here. This is what I mean about that little bit of lack of focus. He's so focused on doing something to get a handful of food because he's ready to eat, that if we give him a couple big handfuls, we can get a little bit more, we can get a little better response out of him because he's going to be doing more what we're asking, less trying to just get the next handful of food. Kennel? Kennel? So I asked twice there. Good boy. Kid loves to eat. Good. Here. Kennel. And that looks really good. So I think we are to the point now that we're ready to start overlaying the collar. These are all things that he already knows. We did a little warm up, and we're going to start only using vibrate. This collar vibrates. It sounds, acts, behaves much like what your cell phone does. And we're going to use that as a cue to him in the form of negative reinforcement to shut the collar off by complying with something he already knows. We are not teaching with the collar. We're building more consistency with something he already knows. I can't stress that enough. Okay, so we're going to turn the collar on. You see him looking around. Kennel. And the collar shuts off as soon as he gets on the dog bed. Now, the fact that he's looking around trying to figure out what that vibrate is means that it's going to be a powerful tool for him. He recognizes it. He's not already ignoring it. Some extremely high drive dogs will ignore the vibrate altogether. Not very many, but if your dog does, we'll talk about using stimulation and how to properly do that later. But we're going to do some reps now, and I'm going to stop talking. Collar comes on. Kennel. Kennel. Good. As soon as he's on the bed, it shuts off. Hey, 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 Sprig. Collar's on. Kennel. Good. And then we can give him a reward. You're kind of mixing in multiple things. One of the big questions that we get is, do I use the clicker with this still? No. Once we've already taught the behavior, we're not teaching anything else right now other than how to shut off the collar. So the clicker goes away when we bring out the e-collar. So again, vibrate turns on. Sprig. Kennel. Good. It shuts off the second he gets on the bed, and he gets another reward. Good boy. Okay. Okay. Lead him off here. Vibrate turns on. Sprig. Sprig. Kennel. Good boy. Timing is just as important with this as it is everything else. The collar turns on. We ask for the cue, something he already knows, and it shuts off the second he completes it. Good. So, sit. Good. Collar comes on. Sprig. Kennel. Shuts off. Good job. As we build reps with this, we're going to be able to use this to help build more consistency with the cues, as well as help him to learn to stay on the dog bed for longer periods of time. So once he's fully collar conditioned to stay on that dog bed, we almost utilize, you kind of change speeds a little bit, and we utilize the collar as a form of correction when he comes off. So the floor becomes hot lava. He steps off the bed, collar turns on, and it shuts off when he gets back on the bed. So that is a later step, but that will be our end goal, is that we can completely collar condition him to stay on the dog bed for extended periods of time. That transfers right into his retrieving work with the climb platforms that we use outside. And we'll be showing you that in a video as well. So we got him here. Collar's on. Kennel. Good. Good job. Let's do a few more reps here, and then we're going to wrap this up. This has been a really good introduction. Sprig. Kennel. Good. Okay, good job. Again, we're not asking for steadiness there. If he tries to stay, the okay is to help release him, but it doesn't matter when he comes off at this point. So collar's on, good. Now we don't want to mix this. This is our first introduction. We don't want to mix multiple things that we're asking him to do with the collar in this session, just the one. Once he's mastered this one, okay, then we'll move on to something else. Kennel. Kennel, good. You can still see he's not 100% sure about what's going on, which is why this is going to take reps. I've got just a few more small handfuls, and then we will be ready to go to finish this up here. Kennel, good. Good job. Right here, buddy. And the last. All right. Come on. Kennel, good boy. Good boy. That's awesome. So now, right here, good. We finished up this session. We're going to continue working on this with his morning sessions, his evening sessions. When we're working with him, we're going to start to incorporate the collar conditioning into his place training work. If you guys want a chance to win this collar, all you need to be doing is liking the DT Systems Facebook page and Instagram page, as well as liking our Facebook and Instagram page, and then tagging 3 of your buddies that could also be interested in a chance to win this collar. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, follow us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of his new and upcoming videos. Thanks, guys, and we'll catch you next time.